Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody. It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends, and we are back. That is right. We are doing previews of all the divisions in the NFL with my friends Willie Walls and Odell Blocker, the great Swame. Friday Night Lights is back. Willie Walls, how you been? How was your off season?
It's just... Do I smell football in the air? I smell football in the air. I'm starting to get excited again. Thank you, football, for coming back. Baseball can kiss my ass. Come on, football. Let's go. It's time. Well, as soon as I get my crown from DK, baseball can kiss my behind. And I'm using my crown for football. This is what we are selling. This is what we love. We're back. We're going to be back every week. We got some good stuff for you. Listen to us. We love you. We miss you. We got a new site. We looking beautiful. We love it. Hey, let's go. Football.
We're already off the rails, Swami. How did you win any money in baseball off season? Because baseball, to me, I won like a little bit, and then you lose, then you win, then you lose. It's the most frustrating sport ever.
Doc, I can't admit it's been fun. It's been good days. Then we've had some long stretches where it's been 2 or 3 days that have just been awful. But guess that's why we love DFS. That's why we play the game. If it was easy, everybody be doing it.
That's so true. So true. All right. I got good news for Willie Walls.
Yes. Football we do a lot better at. I don't care what you say, sir. Football is our stuff.
All right, but Willie Walls, you must be a very happy man tonight. Do you know why? Because your Washington Commanders, for as long as they keep that name, got rid of Daniel Snyder and sold the team for just a few $1 billion. I got to tell you something. I think that the arrow is pointing up for your Commanders this year. I think there's some players I'm liking. I think Sam Howell might be underrated. I think Antonio Gibson can start balling again. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. There are pieces here that make the Commanders more interesting, Willie, than they've been in a long time. Are you happy to be a Commander fan these days?
Man, I got 2 words for the Commanders. Is do and do. 2 words. And I love them. I mean, thank you, Magic Johnson, for giving us some stability. Appreciate it. But I hope Howell doesn't play like Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island. I hope he don't play like that. We don't know what we're going to get. But if we get what he showed in that Dallas-Washington game, that Commanders game, then we might have a little something because he showed a little something. He has a little runability. He's a pretty decent thrower. But it's going to be up to that defense. It's going to have to keep us in the game. I mean, I think we're going to have a lot of growing pains. Listen, I know Eric BME is doing this. One thing I do like about him, though, I remember in practice, Howell threw an interception, and he didn't run back. He said, "Look, you just made a damn mistake. Get your butt down the field and chase that person down since you made a mistake." So one thing, Antonio Gibson to me is the most interesting guy for the Commanders. I think is Bieniemy, just like he did in with the Chiefs, is going to create space. It's going to create space for Antonio Gibson, and I think Antonio Gibson, when you get him out of space, is a pretty good player. So if I had anybody that I'm really looking at this year that could be a little sleeper that I like is Antonio Gibson. Now, listen, we know McLaurin and Dotson. We know that they're good. They're good and could be great receivers. But man, when you had Carson Wentz, he was the worst quarterback ever last year. So balls were going up, long, short, so they never got a chance. So hopefully the enemy can get a little something going. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's going to be growing pains. We're going to have to lean on that defense, but it's going to be growing pains. I mean, I'm not expecting much, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not big into the Commanders this year, to be honest.
Swami, I think I disagree with Willie. I think there's something there with the Commanders. I feel like you've got two really good receivers. Jahan Dotson's talking about a breakout season. McLaurin is as good a number one as there is, in the league. He's certainly one of the better receivers. I think Brian Robinson was shot last year, and now he's back for a full season. If Sam Howell could be good, not great, but good, maybe this team is looking at a wild card. What do you think, Swami?
Doc, first of all, before we went live, somebody said, there's a couple teams I'm only have 2 words for. Doc, that was surely more than 2 doggone words. My goodness. And he had a whole lot of negativity pointed at the Commanders. But I get it. It's his team. There's a certain level of passion there. I understand it. Not only do they got Mr. Irving Magic Johnson over there now, and all he does is win. Not only do they have Mr. The Enemy there, who might do some interesting things with those backs and with that offense, those young receivers, he's got a lot of weapons to play with. A lot of weapons to play with. We got to remember, they got a couple of people coming back on defense, and they made some outstanding draft picks this year when they went after the cornerbacks with their first and second pick. Remember that. They went and got some guys that can cover, some guys that are physical, some guys with speed, Emmanuel Forbes, and Mr. Mark. These guys are very interesting. What they just did, while everybody else was looking to see how they can get better, they said, no, we got some pieces. Let's see what we can do by giving Mr. Howell a chance, right? And just like they said, there's another famous Sam, and it goes, a change gonna come. If he can do a little bit of something, we are looking at a Commanders team that could make a push. They've been right there. They weren't very good, but they've been competitive. And if he can give them something with these other 2 pieces, because sometimes the momentum will come in with you having change in the organization, you bringing change in leadership on the team, and you guys all have something in common. They want to win. Let's go, Commanders.
Now, Swami, by the way, I want a nugget here. Mama and Papa Roto's first date, Sam Cooke.
Outstanding.
Oh, wow.
Outstanding, right? One of the greatest of all time. All right, guys. Let's go. Willie, you want a final word on your team? Final word on your team.
The defense. Let me say this. This defense is talented. They're really talented. I mean, even when they only have 6 in the box, they give up only 4.2 yards per carry, number 1 in the league. And I'm gonna tell you, I agree with Swami what he's saying, because Emmanuel Forbes, he might be small, but he can ball. And they got the guy named Cameron Curl, who's a hell of a safety. They got Payne, Jonathan Allen. Now, Montez Sweat. Commanders got a good front 7.
You didn't even mention Chase Young. That tells you how good they are.
Yeah. He seemed to find more than a couple of words there, Doc. He seemed to find a few extra words. They must be falling out the sky. So he must got alphabet soup there. Where you get all these words from, Willie?
I know why I didn't say nothing about Chase Young. What did Bill Parcells say? His word. You cannot compete when you're in the tub. That's a tub baby right there. He is Mr. Tub. Mr. Tubby Tub Tub. So I'm not going to mention that bastard.
Okay, fair. Okay.
I won't mention that bastard. I got right. 2 words for Chase. Overrated Young.
I won't go that far.
I'd rather get Steve Young. Give me any other Young.
You wish you had Steve Young. He wishes he had Steve Young.
Relax.
All right, look at that face. All right, face only a mother could love. Okay, I want to turn to the New York Giants. Before we even talk about the Giants, I want to talk about Saquon Barkley. And I'm going to say this to you guys. I am very upset here. I really am. They don't want to pay Saquon. If they take Saquon off this field, and they, of course, signed James Robinson today. The guy is such an also ran. I mean, a nothing. How do the Giants expect to compete? Now, I believe Saquon will play. I do. I believe he'll be out there because he's a competitor and he loves the game. But running backs are getting the shaft, Swami. It is embarrassing. Christian Kirk's getting 18 million and Saquon Barkley can't get 12. What's up with this?
I get it. A part of this is this phenomenon, this new era that we got going on where they feel like they can play running back by committee and you don't really need to rely too much on one guy. But you have to pay a guy like Saquon Barkley. I think the Giants will be making a huge mistake here. They made some decent moves. They were right there. But if they don't get Mr. Barkley, they don't make Mr. Barkley happy, they'll be right. They'll find themselves at the back of this division and maybe the back of the conference if they keep going down this road.
Willie, quick word to you about Barkley before we break the Giants down. Do you think he plays this year?
Yes. There'll be idiots. It's going to happen. I mean, this is negotiations.
No, it's franchise tag. We're past that. We're at franchise tag. We're at 10.1 million or don't play.
He's going to play. I think they're going to get a deal done. Listen, the Giants are idiots. Straight up idiots if they don't get it done. So I'm going to be positive about it.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Daniel Jones, who had looked really good last year. I got to be honest with you. I mean, going into the season, guys, I thought he was doo-doo, but he turned out to be pretty decent. They brought in Cole Beasley today. They brought in Paris Campbell. They drafted Jalen Hyatt. They brought in Darren Waller. There's a lot of dudes right now. Isaiah Hodgins. I'm not saying they're great, but they're really well coached. And the Giants also drafted a cornerback, a guy that they needed desperately, Swami. Are the Giants are they the fourth place team in a tough division, or are they the second place team and on the rise?
With the Saquon Barkley situation, I'm tempted to say they are an eighth place team in a 4-team division, because I think if they don't make that move happen, they're going to suffer. They're not the same team without him. I don't think that the quarterback is the same quarterback without him. And as much as I like Hyatt and some of the other pieces together, I think you have to have, your anchor there. And so for me right now, they didn't just put a entire downer on the G-men, their offseason. I know if I'm a Giants fan right now, there's a lot of uncertainty around what we're going to do and what we're going to look like this year, coming off a great season last year. And that's just not what you want to do as an organization. But I do like some of the picks. Not really that excited about Cole Beasley, but I feel like they do like to work those short and intermediate routes, so he could probably come in and add value there. But Mr. Banks, he's a darling. He's one of those potential PTPers. I like what they have in him. He's very interesting at the cornerback position, Walls. They did a couple of things at offensive line. But if you don't get Mr. Barkley in there, and I'm talking about, I don't care who. They can put Niles Barkley or Charles, but you better have a Barkley in that doggone backfield this year. I'm talking to you Giants. That's ridiculous. Come on, it's fantasy stuff on the line. You ain't thinking about nobody but your doggone self. I'm sorry, Doc. I digress. This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Willie, what do you think about the Giants this year? Look, I will say this. Saquon Barkley was so important to that team. Without him, I just don't even see how they win 6 games.
I agree, but he's going to play. But let me, it's story time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to tell you a story, okay? Listen to Uncle Willie. Willie's about to tell you a story. Let's go back to last year when Joe Judge or Joe Judy, or whatever his name was there. Now you got to remember, Brian Dable he inherited Daniel Jones on the last year of his contract and Saquon Barkley. Things were looking bright for the Giants. Matter of fact, let me give you a little story. In the past 5 years, they were the only team not to have a winning record. Nowhere in the 5 years. Nowhere. They were the worst. The worst team. They were the worst team. And so let's fast forward to the Tennessee game, the first game of the year. You remember they were trailing with about 5 minutes and 47 seconds left. And they drove the ball 73 yards for a TD. And then there was a decision point. that I think set the tone for the rest of the year. What they did, they said, okay, do we kick the extra point? Do we go for the 2 points? We're going to go for the 2 points. So we go for the 2 points. We take a lead with 1 minute and 6 seconds left. Tennessee gets the ball. They drive the ball down. They miss a 47-yard field goal. First time in 5 years that they were over 500. And matter of fact, it was the first time, they won 13 of 17 games that they covered the spread. Now, let me give you some stuff that makes Brian Daboll a great coach. And this is what coaching means. Listen to me. I've upped my game a little bit. I listen to a little Warren Sharp. Warren Sharp. Me and Warren are boys. I say, Warren, what's going on? He said, "What's up?" I said, "What's up, Warren? How are you, sir?" "I'm doing fine." "You good?" "I'm good." "Okay." He said, "Well, then let me teach you something about third down avoidance." I said, "Third down avoidance? What is that, Warren?" He said, "Third down avoidance. That's the key, Willie, of you winning this year is third down avoidance." So the Giants in third down avoidance was number 32. They were due to the do, okay? But with Daboll and his little tricks that he had, they went from 32 to number 6. And another thing was a key is third down efficiency, okay? Third down efficiency was a big thing, okay? They went, that can y'all see me? Come on. Where am I?
We see you. We see you. Trust me, we see you.
I'm back again. Okay. That includes red zone conversion rate, success in all plays, and EPA. So with Joe Judge, they were 37%, the worst in the league. Matter of fact, it was so bad, the team that was after them, who was 48%, was the next worst, was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They went from 37% to 63%. They went to number 7. So, but let me tell you this, though. This is the thing that's really amazing about the Giants. Really, honestly, Daniel Jones didn't have a good year. Besides the red zone, he was horrible. He had 15 total touchdowns in 16 games. He did. He finished better at the end of the year.
He was not horrible, though. Don't give me horrible. He ran well. He played better.
He ran. I'm talking about throwing the ball. The key was
he throws his deep accuracy is pretty good, Willie, and he played with 2 guys who were probably as good as you and Swame at receiver.
I agree, but what I'm saying, he got better, but he's got to get better, Doc. For them to make that next step, he's got to get better. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. But the whole point is, it shows you what coaching will do. And now you give him Waller, you give him more toys. Because look at Buffalo last year. Why was Diggs so mad? Okay, because they weren't the same offensive team that they were the year before. The things of that nature, because they didn't do the same thing. Daboll is an offensive genius. That's the point I'm trying to make. He coaches. You know how we talk about Swame coaching people up? He coaches people up. He coached Daniel Jones up. He coached him up. Okay.
And don't forget a name, guys. Mike Kafka. Listen to me now. Mike Kafka was the offensive coordinator. He was the passing game coordinator in Kansas City. After this year in the Giants, he's already being interviewed around for head coaching positions. You put Daboll and Kafka together, and that's why Daniel Jones was successful. I'm telling you this. The biggest problem with the Giants, and I agree with Swame, is with Saquon Barkley, this is a playoff team. Without Saquon Barkley, this is not a playoff team. James Robinson is done. Take him out back. All right, let's talk about coaching here. Mike McCarthy is coaching a team, and people hate him. I can't imagine the Dallas Cowboy fan who sits around and goes, "I love Mike McCarthy. He's great for our team." But, Swame, let's start with you. Dak, Pollard, they bring in Brandon Cooks, Lamb, and Mike McCarthy says, "We're a running team." It doesn't seem like a running team when I've given you those players. With a running team, you need a Zeke. You need a first down guy, and Pollard's not that kind of guy. Do you think Dallas can maintain its offensive integrity under McCarthy and still keep up their amazing defense and make a deep playoff run?
Listen up, Mr. McCarthy. You were going to get your act together, or you better hire a security team because you might just get ran out of town. The Cowboy fans are serious and they're tired of this foolishness. No. It's not a glitch, McCarthy. That's just the Cowboy fans listening to your press conference. That's what they're saying. No doggone way. It's absolutely ridiculous that you got the kind of talent on this team and y'all could keep going out there being goofy. I tell you what, if you don't want to do it, we're going to find somebody that will, because this don't make no sense. What else you need? What else you want? What else can we do for you, Mr. McCarthy? What you need? If this don't work out for you, I tell you what, Kroger, Publix, you better get to somewhere where they can use you, because they don't need you in doggone down there in Texas.
So, talk to me about Dallas's defense. Are they the best defense in the league?
Doc, if they not, if they not, you're gonna have to tell me who are. I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to say. They gonna add Gilmore? Are you kidding me?
And the first-round pick from Michigan, the defensive lineman, who's strong, dude, strong.
I don't. Where do we start? Right? They add Smith. They add Gilmore. What else could they possibly need? We're talking about a situation they can win on defense. I get why he wants to maybe limit some of the mistakes that they made in the passing game, right? Namely, Dak. But Dak, I'm going to keep my foot off your neck a little bit right now because I want you to breathe and I want you to go into camp and I want you to be able to start to use some of these pieces, limit the mistakes. Anyway, back to where I was at. I think they have an opportunity to be one of the best defenses in the league. I think they have the opportunity to be one of the best teams in the league. And the only thing I think can hold them back is coaching and mistakes in big games at big moments. That's all I got on them doggone Cowboys. Oh, one more thing. One more guy I like, because everybody's concerned about tight end for them. They've let a few pieces go. But that Luke Shoemaker, look out. He might emerge. Right now, I know he's probably sitting behind Ferguson, but he may emerge as one of those guys. And he's not the only tight end that's come to this conference. But I really like what Mr. Shoemaker might be able to do in that offense, working over the middle. You know how he used those tight ends. You know how he used Schultz. This could be an opportunity, and I think he might be the guy.
Willie, let me ask you a question here. This is a very important question. I have read all over that people admire and respect Dak as a leader. He may be one of the great leaders out there, but I don't know if he's a great quarterback. I don't know if he's a great thrower of the football. I don't know if he's very accurate throwing that football. I'm not saying that guys don't like him. I think the guys love him. But are the Dallas Cowboys limited because Dak Prescott is not a superstar? He's maybe a star, but he's not a superstar, Willie.
No. First of all, let's go McCarthy first. Then I'm going to address Dak. McCarthy is an idiot, okay? He was an idiot with the Packers, okay? 2018, his last year, the dude just sat in the ball in the second half, and they lost, okay? And he had Aaron Rodgers in his prime, okay? So he's an idiot. Let's think about this, guys. Think about this. No, first of all, they were number one in the red zone last year. Number one, with Moore, Kelvin Moore. Then they're gonna say, "Oh, we need to run the ball more." Damn it, you ran the ball a lot. You ran the ball so damn much on the first downs. The only team that didn't run as much was San Francisco than you. Okay, so if you're going to be more conservative, I'm worried, because I'm gonna tell you something. Dak, I went back those 15 minutes. Dallas offensive line is not the best offensive line in the world. When you put pressure on Dak, whoo, man, Dak, I'm gonna tell you. So I'm a little worried now. What I do like is like if you go to Noah Brown last year, he only caught 63% of his targets over 10 yards. Then you bring in Cook. Great acquisition. He caught over 73%, but Cook is a proven player, and he's going to have a lot of room because Mr. Lamb is going to make him better. So I do like that part, but I'm still worried about that. Now, this defense, I agree. The defense is nasty. They one of the best in pressure rates. They got people. I mean, let me give you some of the pressure rates that they get with these guys. I mean, you got Parsons, 13.5 quarterback sacks, 29 quarterback hits. Then you got DeMarcus Lawrence has the highest one-stop win rate according to ESPN. He had 13.8 press, and 8.5 sacks. You got Dorrance Armstrong, 13% pressure rate and 8.5 sacks. Then you had Diggs last year. Listen, he went from 11 interceptions to 3, but what he improved, because what he did was he improved his yards per reception allowed to 18.7 to 12.2. Okay, so Diggs got better. But this is the thing that I'm going to worry about for Dallas. Okay, this is a thing that they might show regression on. Dallas was 10-5 in war score games. In the last 2 years, they're the fourth best. They're number one in turnover rates with +10 and +14. +24. The next team is +15. That's going to regress sometimes. And if it's regress and Dak continue to make those mistakes, even if McCarthy is a dum-dum, which he's capable of, then Dallas might not reach its full potential that it should reach. You follow what I'm saying? Well, I just think McCarthy, I can't stand him.
Well, the interesting thing was Kellen Moore was their offensive coordinator last year, right? Loved to throw the ball downfield. McCarthy gets rid of him. Moore doesn't leave the state of Texas where he already has a job with the Chargers. That's how fast he was hired. But Dallas loves Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn could be a coach on any team. If Mike McCarthy gets whacked, Dan Quinn could be the next head coach of the Cowboys. I thought it was going to be Sean Payton, but Sean Payton goes to the Broncos. So I'm agreeing with both of you guys. What Dallas does is they get so much pressure and they get these turnovers. All of a sudden, if you're getting one less sack a game or one less fumble a game or one less interception a game, you're not creating turnovers. And if your offense isn't scoring, maybe you're the third best team in the NFC East and not the first. Just saying. All right, last team for us, the Philadelphia Eagles, a.k.a. the Georgia Bulldogs North. Swame, you know all about Georgia. You know all about that team. Philadelphia, though, I will say this. I think they're built to win. I think they're built to win right now. But you have Nick Sirianni. You don't have your offensive coordinator. He's the head coach in Indianapolis. You don't have your defensive coordinator. He's the head coach in Arizona. Are you missing continuity? And is that critical, or does it not matter because they have so much talent? They're going to win by 20 in every game, Swami.
I think it may matter. I don't think it will put them in a situation where they won't be able to win or continue to kind of build on what they were already doing. It's funny that you called them the Bulldogs North. Again, they got Big Jordan Davis. They brought in the leader and the Kobe Dean, and then they followed it up this year with Jalen Carter. They got the two bigs inside, and then they went with Nolan Smith. They are primed and ready to go on defense. Hurst is leading that offense. I don't see how this team doesn't run away with the division and likely the conference. They literally got enough pieces where they could probably win 16 games, 15 games in a regular season. And I'm talking about last year, we thought they weren't going to lose a game. They might get off to a similar start. And it's not just what they did on defense. We already knew the defense was rock solid. Then they go out and they get Swift. Then they go out, they sign Penny. They bring back Scott. They add pieces to that backfield, because if you were to say, hey, where does this team need to improve right now? That was probably the place you would have looked. And then they go out and get somebody, and Swift, who I think is a playmaker, again, they went recruiting down in the great
University of Georgia, DeAndre Swift.
but then they grant Rashard Penny, and we all seen what he could do when he wasn't inside in the trainer's office. But this team is a lot of reasons to get excited about. And I think they can almost put it on cruise control and take this division. You kind of like everything that they're doing. And yes, it'll be a little bit, and hopefully they've developed enough as a unit, as a team, that they can kind of continue with some of that momentum, even with the coaches moving on. But this is what you like to see. If you're an Eagles fan, you love the draft, you love the moves they made in the offseason. Hey, you get it that sometimes when you have success, you're gonna lose a couple pieces, but they gotta be doggone excited. My goodness.
Willie, Swame said something very interesting. He said something about the team being on cruise control. In your fantasy teams and DFS lineups, do you worry when a team seems to be or appears to be so dominant that all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, it's a Rashad Penny love fest? Or maybe Jalen Hurts only needs to really throw the ball for 2.5, 2 3/4 quarters. Does that bother you there because they could be such a juggernaut? Or am I overthinking it?
I think you're overthinking it. Let me tell you the reason why. Number one is they had the easier schedule last year. Okay, they got the most difficult schedule this year. So now I'm gonna like their players even more because see, this is what happened last year. The Eagles scored 296 points in the first half. 296. They had a 121 point differential. So then what happened is Hurts was like one of the number one guys in the first half. Second half, that's when they running the ball. And that's when they holding the ball out and doing all that kind of stuff. Now you're going to get more competitive games. And it's going to be, so it's going to be more even. And they will be even, and just think about this. A.J. Brown, 145 targets, 88 receptions, 1,496 yards, 11 TDs. Davion Smith, 95 catches and 1,196, 7 TDs. From week 9 on, Smith caught 10 more passes and caught 4 more balls, 107, 103 yards, to A.J. Brown. So what I'm saying is, and then you look at, the defense. This is the most complete roster. The draft, they got stronger. I mean, you thought they was going to lose their quarterbacks. No, we keep both quarterbacks. One of the top 5 for both of them. You keep your quarterbacks. I mean, look, they had 70 sacks last year. They are elite. When you talk about pressure, they put pressure on you. And it's just not one guy. This team, I think, is the most complete team. And then the thing I like about them, they're hungry. They lost that game to the Chiefs last year. Okay? You don't think that's in there?
They were outcoached. I'm sorry. They were out-schemed. They were out-coached. Andy Reid, those guys, both touchdowns. You couldn't have been more wide open, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
No. Got it. But what I'm saying is that gives you something to draw on,
Objection. Objection, flag on the play. Although those plays in the second half toward the end of the game were significant, they were pivotal. It was I'm not even going to say the call by the referee because I think it was something there that he called. I think the turnover before the half was huge, and I think that had a lot to do with the game and the momentum in the game. I think it was a couple of mistakes that were made by the offense, not necessarily being just totally outcoached. It was a good game, 2 juggernauts going back and forth, and I think it came down to a couple of plays, a penalty, and then a turnover before the half.
All right. Yeah. Before we wrap it, go ahead, Willie. Go ahead.
No, I'm just listen. With Swift, I agree with Swame. With Swift, I mean, man, Swift can play, and they're going to put him in space, and this dude could play. I mean, Detroit.
And can I plug my other guy, Willie? Because they took a tight end last year in the 5th round, guy named Grant Calcaterra, and I think that he could start to move up the depth chart. Dallas Goedert is clearly the man there. But look out for guys like that they have, these kind of second-year players as well, because we always talk about the superstars, but sometimes it's these other pieces that are able to emerge when those guys are getting all the attention. They still love this 2 tight end thing that they're doing over there. Watch out for him too. He's my other watch out for guy as far as tight ends in this division.
Swami, I have a question.
I think,
who is their third receiver?
It's for the Eagles?
Yep. It's Willie's guy.
Well, I don't know if it's Willie's
And I'm
guy.
saying that on a reason. I'm saying that for a reason. It's Willie's guy, Quez Watkins. If the Eagles have any Achilles heel, because every team has something. If A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith gets hurt, I'm legitimately a little worried about the Eagles because the rest of the team is awesome. But they are one receiver away. They need one more receiver, and not Quez.
I think that I think they go to that 2 tight end kind of scenario that I was talking about. And
but Goddard, listen, remember he got hurt last year.
They brought in Zacchaeus. I mean,
no.
I thought when you said Willie's guy, I thought you was talking about. Well, I mean, it's somebody they brought in, and then they got Greg Ward. I know that it's probably the same level of. And then they brought in.
Look, the Giants brought in Cole Beasley. They had to. Then we're gonna have to find. Denzel Mims just got traded. I do think the Eagles may need one receiver just to be backed up there because A.J. Brown has a history of some injuries. It's not like he's perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I could agree. I could agree,
they got
but I think
Mariota backing them up as well.
I think with the addition of Swift, and he's a very adept pass catcher. I think they're going to do things with Goddard. They're going to move him around because Goddard got a lot of talent, and you got to think about it. He averaged like 1.83 yards per route run. That's almost like wide receiver like. I mean, Goddard is a beast, man. So. And he only and he was the 4th in the NFC, and he missed 5 games. You know what I mean? This guy could play. He could ball. So, I just think Hurts is just gonna. I like his attitude. His attitude. He says the right words. He studies. You don't see this rascal out, doing dumb stuff that some dumb people do. You don't see him doing that.
And there's still a couple of free agents that's out there too, Doc. There's still some free agents that's out there.
No, they are. And they may need one.
Yeah.
All right. So before we wrap this up, first place NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles. Agreed?
Yes.
Agreed.
Second place in the NFC East, Dallas?
It's going to be
How
Dallas.
about the Cowboys?
I'll say the Cowboys. Third place in the NFC East.
That's up for grabs.
I think it's up for grabs. If Saquon is back, it's the Giants. Agreed?
Yes.
Likely the Giants.
And then the Washington.
But you know what, though? But you know what, Doc? One thing that has not happened in years, the same team has not won the division. It always switches.
I don't know about this year.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
I agree with that in other divisions, but maybe not in this one. This one seems pretty.
This one seems pretty clear.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. Look, like you said, they won A.J. Brown hamstring away.
That's true. That is true. Now you got Quez Watkins out there, Willie's DFS darling. Never play him, Swami. Never play Quez Watkins in DFS ever.
I think they're going to pick somebody else up. It's going to be something, a rookie, somebody going to emerge out there.
All right, next week, AFC East? AFC East next week?
Let's do it.
Yes.
That's a good division. Yeah,
it is. I'm already got my stuff ready, but New England, I got about a half a page. They are due.
Half a page? Is that what you mean by 2 words? My goodness.
I might just have 3 words. I don't know. I might have 3.
Could this be Bill? Let's just think about this one. Could this be Bill Belichick's last season coaching?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He might look for a different situation. Maybe I don't know if he's done coaching, but he might be done in New England.
Really? You think he's going to coach somewhere else? Because he's not going to do any interviews. I mean, he's not very.
I think the Cowboys is a great job right now.
Ooh.
I said it. Yeah, I said it. I think it's a great opportunity down there, and to work for another billionaire.
Man, Jerry Jones will not have a guy who will say, "Hey, kiss my ass,"
Jerry
he
Jones,
ain't having that.
he want to win so bad.
No, I'm telling you. You saw how that worked with Bill Parcells. I don't see it, sir.
He would
I don't see it.
acquiesce. He would acquiesce. Just like when
he more
Jerry
like
Jones and
acquiesce.
Jimmy Johnson had to acquiesce. He'll figure it out.
Listen, don't even talk about them. And I didn't like him, but if they would have kept it, they could have ran things for a while. Jones is an idiot.
All right, we'll get to that next week. All right, what do we do? Put away the insurance card, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. For Willie Walls and the great Swame, I'm Dr. Roto saying be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.